Hi, I'm David Albert. I'm the board chairman of Friendly Water for the World. We're a local Olympia-based nonprofit organization that promotes clean water and specifically the fabrication of biosand water filters to deal with drinking water problems throughout the third world. And with me today, it's a pleasure to have my friend Prosper Ndabishuriye from Bujumbura, Burundi. Welcome.
Thank you, David.
It's good to see you. Of course, we met last year. You come over actually for our biosand filter training here in Olympia last year. We have another one this year actually happening June 30th to July 4th. Prosper, your group, now I'm not even going to attempt the French, but I know it translates as Youth in Reconstruction in a World of Destruction.
Yeah, of the world in destruction.
Right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this group and how it got started?
Thank you very much, David, for giving me this opportunity to share with you about my work in Burundi. As you have already said, I come from Burundi. And to give you a very a picture of Burundi, Burundi is a small country located in Central Africa between Congo, Rwanda, and Tanzania. We are about 9 million, and people from 3 ethnic groups live in Burundi. They are called Pygmies, Hutu, and Tutsi. All of them, they are called Burundian. Mm-hmm. So
the same people who lived in Rwanda.
Exactly, the same. So in Burundi, when the killing started in 1993, I thought about the way politicians were misusing young people to kill and to destroy their own people and to destroy their own nation. So
now you were working at the university at the time.
By that time, I was working for a Christian organization called Campus Crusade for Christ International. But as you know, Campus Crusade ministry is really based on young people, students in colleges and universities. So we were involved in those activities. So seeing what was happening, I said to myself, maybe if somebody can bring those young people in a good direction, they can help to rebuild their country and to save the lives of innocent people who are being killed by their own people. This because of politicians from Hutu and Tutsi ethnic groups who were misusing them and manipulating them to kill and to destroy their own
So
country.
as I understand it, the Hutus and Tutsis actually had lived in peace together for hundreds and hundreds of years.
That is correct. That is correct. And this started when, the division, open division started when, during the colonial regime, because when they came...
The Belgians?
Belgians, yes. When they came, they divided Burundians by giving more opportunities and privilege to one ethnic group, which was a minority, Tutsi. After the Belgians left the time we got independence, then these conflicts, started. As a result of that, there was killing in 1965, 1972, 1988, and 1993. Mostly killing people from one ethnic group, from Hutu ethnic group. It's very sad. So when I saw that in 1993, I said to myself, I should start something with those young people and to help them, to give them the opportunity and the privilege to rebuild their country and to save the lives of innocent people.
So Hutus and Tutsi students together?
Yeah, when I invited Hutu, Tutsi and Pygmies together, and we formed a group of 53 young people. 53 young people involved in, promoting peace, reconciliation, and bringing together Hutu and Tutsi and Pygmies who could not, live together during that time in 1993.
Now this must have been very challenging and even dangerous work in 1993.
It was very, very dangerous in accepting to be a part of our group or to be in this mission of promoting peace and reconciliation was to accept to risk, his life, was to accept in another way, to accept to be killed. But because of the importance of saving the lives of millions, we accepted to give our lives. It's in this way we started promoting peace and reconciliation and rebuilding homes for the victims of the war by bringing together Hutu and Tutsi and helping them to make bricks with the help of our volunteers and to rebuild
Now,
homes.
I heard that about 60% of the houses were destroyed.
In Burundi during the war, around 500,000 people were killed during a period of 4 months, and the killing was followed by destruction of houses. During the same period, around 60% of houses in Burundi were completely destroyed. Not only in one community, not only in one province or in one community, in the whole country, around 60% of houses were completely destroyed. And those who were able to survive were not, became homeless. It's in this way we started to, this program of promoting shelters and, promoting peace and reconciliation.
Now, Burundi is either the poorest or the second poorest country in Africa. Niger is the other very poor country in Africa. It's 185th out of 187 countries on the United Nations Development Index. So it's a very, very poor country.
It's very sad, and it is. And we are hoping that with, the education that we are giving to our people, and we are hoping that with, new leaders, they will help our country to get out from the situation in which it is. Because today in Burundi, many people, many families are not able to get food that they can eat with their families. And Burundi, as you know, more than 90% of the population of Burundi, they live by agriculture, by farming. But today, because of the problem of rain, they are not harvesting enough. Due to that, they cannot find.
So global warming is even affecting Burundi.
I think that it should be that a result of that.
I've heard that the agricultural wage is somewhere between 40 and 55 cents a day.
It's true. So back to our program of rebuilding homes. Since 1994 until today, with the help of friends and friends of friends, people like you, we have been able to build 3,211 homes.
Wow!
And to build one home, it costs around $1,000. A home that can accommodate a family of 7 to 10 people. And we have been only able to do that because of friends and friends of friends, especially people in the United States who have been very generous, to help our people. That is what I
now,
call...
Even with the poverty of these families, though, I do know that they do take in orphans too. There are many orphans, obviously, as a result of the war and sickness, and I've heard that even the poorest families will take in orphans.
That is true. Because of the war in 1993 and AIDS, around 11% of the population of Burundi, they are orphans. So they are everywhere, and they are not able to help themselves. And many families who could help, they are not able to help. It's in this way, with the homes that we have been building, we give our priority is to help orphans to have a shelter. And our second priority is to help widows. And because of the war and AIDS, we have a lot of widows in Burundi. So they have been our priority. But in 2007, we thought about building an orphanage that will be able to accommodate or to care for 160 orphans, and also having a school within the orphanage.
Oh, that would be great.
A school that will be able to teach around 800 children each year.
Now, this is in a remote province of Burundi, Cibitoke, right?
Yeah, that is being built in Cibitoke province. You pronounce it very well, so you might be
I
speaking
try
many
hard.
languages.
I try very hard. I'm working on my. People speak Kirundi.
Yeah, so the orphanage is being built in Cibitoke province with the help of friends and friends of friends as well. As I have already said, we are moving on, and we are hoping that by the end of this year, 2012, we should be able to finish the construction of this orphanage and school, which together is called Imuhira Iwacu Village. we are hoping.
Oh, what does it mean?
Yeah, that Imuhira Iwacu Village, it means in our home.
In our home.
So that those orphans who will be living there, whenever they are asked, where do you live, they will just answer, we live in our home. So that they may not feel that they are strange, so that they may not feel that they are abandoned children,
right.
But they will feel at home. That's why we decided we chose it. I mean that's
a great name.
That name. So in September, we are sure we are opening this school for 800 kids.
That's great.
Yeah, from surrounding area of the orphanage and the other places as well.
Now, I know the government, your private efforts are very important because the government just doesn't have a lot of resources. I'm sure they are not getting in your way, but there just aren't a lot of government resources there. And I know not many of the aid agencies are really in Burundi either.
As I have already, I have been sharing with different people in Burundi, we felt, like abandoned people. Because with what has been happening in 1965, around 10,000 people from one ethnic group were killed, mainly educated people and students, and a few were on businesses and leadership. 1972, again, around 300,000 were again killed from the same ethnic group, Hutu ethnic group. Mainly students in high schools, colleges, and in 1988 around 100,000 were killed. It's sad to see what happened, but during all of that time, we didn't see anybody from international community. We didn't see the presence of UN to come, to protect those people who were being killed by the government of that time. So even today, we do not see the presence of many international organizations, and the government, as you have already said, is not able to help its people. So we are, trying to challenge people and to share about Burundi so that people may understand and help us to help our community, to help our nation.
And so little can do so much there. That's when I speak with people about Burundi. I mean, it is poor, but for Americans, where we live in this land of opportunity with great wealth, just a little bit can go so far.
That is true. The example is that with $1,000 you can build a home that can accommodate a family of 7 to 10 people. That is, a very important thing. Imagine helping somebody to have a home where he can live with his family. So with little things, they can help us to do more things. It's about helping us so that we may be able to help ourselves.
Now, you called me up. It was interesting how we met. I knew of you, actually, far before you knew of me. I make it a hobby to know of people who are doing great soul works around the world. And you are, even before you knew me, you were one of my heroes.
Thank you.
And you called me up on a Monday before our biosand training was to happen in Olympia beginning on Friday. You called me from Nairobi and asked whether you could come. And
yes.
Of course we were delighted to have you join us. Why did you call me? What was...
in fact, when I called, I thought that I was calling Dell.
Dell Livingston, the honorary chairman of
the one that I
Water
knew.
for the World.
And, that was really like a divine appointment, because I was calling Dell to ask him about this project of biosand water filters, and when I called, God provided somebody who was involved in and who was,
and already knew who you were.
Exactly, and who was already the right person that I have to deal with. So this is how it happened. I really wanted to know how I could be more involved in that, because as I have already said, for the last 18 years, from 1994 until today, we have been able to build 3,211 homes. But we realized that we miss a very important piece, so that we may help our family to become, to help himself. We realized that, we didn't, we were not able to provide clean water to the families that we helped.
And water is a big problem. There's a lot of water in Burundi, I know. Generally speaking, it has rained a lot. But, I know the UN data says that out of every 1,000 kids who are born, 142 of them die before the age of 5. But that includes places like Bujumbura, where health conditions are a little better. So I know in Chibitoke, and I know where we've also been working in Mutao, it could be as high as 300, which means essentially that every family would have a dead child.
That is true. In Burundi, as you have already said, we have a lot of rivers, almost everywhere. But as you know, water from rivers is not clean. So with biosand water filters, we can help people to protect them from some disease, from some illness. Typhoid,
cholera, bacterial dysentery.
Exactly. So that's why many people in Burundi, in different communities, they have this problem, of getting clean water, because they go to the rivers to get water, and they drink it as it is. So we realize that it's our responsibility.
I know that even the public taps sometimes make people sick.
Sometimes too. So that's why we found that having this biosand water filters, and also teaching the community about hygiene is very, very important.
Right.
That's why we decided, to look for you and to see in which area you can help us.
We are just delighted to have you. And of course, you have the homes, and so theoretically, you can simply incorporate the inclusion. You can incorporate a biosand filter into the homes themselves, which you are building. And so that, in fact, it's a natural process. You not only get a roof over your head, but you get a way to protect yourself from waterborne diseases.
That's why from this August 2012, we are going to start making biosand water filters with our.
And we're going to help.
With your help as well. And we are planning that from 2012 to 2016, we'll be able to make around 2,200 biosand water filters.
And if each serves up to 10 people, that would be like almost 25,000 people.
Exactly. That that is a start, and not only making them, but also educating people, teaching them hygiene, and moving from one village to another village.
Because we know that, we in our other biosand filter projects, we can, between community sanitation, hygiene, and the biosand filter itself, we can reduce waterborne diseases up to about 80%.
Oh, that's why we are committed to do that, right. to include that in our home building.
And when that happens,
program.
People become more productive, and the trauma of child illness and childhood death is not part of the other trauma that people experienced from the war. In some ways, it's a part of the trauma healing work itself.
That is very important, especially with the situation that Burundians have been going through for the last 20 years. I think now is a time. It's a time to see friends and friends of friends, to help us, to help our people. Not to help us forever, but to help us, to help our people, and help our people to help themselves.
That's great.
Yes.
And of course, biosand filters can be built locally with local materials, and it's fairly easy to teach, and we can teach people to do that. We actually brought a model. Actually, this is a half-size biosand filter with us. It was the full one is made of cement, and it's literally double this size.
It's a bit bigger.
Double this size, but this is an actual model seen from the inside. And the technology is really very simple. It was invented in 1993, and you put gravel of two kinds at the bottom, then sand that we've sifted to an exact size Can't be beach sand. You don't have beaches for the most part. Can't be the bottom of the river because the sand would be round. No, we need sand that has points to it.
Yes.
2 inches of really dirty water. We'll take the dirtiest water you've got. That's easy to find.
Yes.
Some air. And then a diffuser plate so that when you pour water in, the water goes through the holes, it sort of rains down upon. And what happens is, so you take your dirty water from the river and you pour it in the top. And when this dirty water hits the dirty water here, the protozoa and large bacteria, they cannibalize each other. They eat each other. And you kill most of the large bacteria, cholera, typhoid, bacterial dysentery, E. coli, most of them are killed right here in the top water layer.
That's why this is very important for the Burundian community.
Right. Then what happens is the bodies of the bacteria fall, make another filter layer. And then as the water comes through the sand, the sharp points of the sand have a slight electrical charge. And the viruses, like hepatitis A, will glom onto the sand because there's no air, no light, no food. They will die right there. And then the water comes down all the way through. No worms can get through. I know worms are a problem for people. Protozoa can't get through, more bacteria. And it comes out up to 95 to 99% pure of viruses and bacteria, 100% pure of worms, and it will last for 30 years with almost no maintenance.
That's why it's very, very important for Burundian community, to provide biosand water filters and also educating them, giving them, teaching them hygiene. This will help them very much. This will really reduce some of the deaths of many children who are dying because of lack of clean water.
Right, and we'd love to be working with you. Obviously, we here in America can't go to Burundi and do this ourselves. We know a lot of aid organizations like to do that. It's just not what we're doing. But by partnering with you, we can expand our work and your work at the same time. I mean, your program becomes more integrated, where you're not only providing housing and schools and an orphanage for children, but you can also provide something that helps people's health as well.
I think that will be a great contribution to our organization and to our community and our government as well, because that is something that we have been longing to see happening, so that we may be able to give a complete service to our nation.
Now, one of the things you mentioned, I think it's actually important, you mentioned there's a fairly high HIV/AIDS rate in Burundi, and of course there aren't enough medicines to go around. There are barely any health clinics in many areas of Burundi. But one of the things you do when you provide, we have found that when you provide clean water to people who have HIV, people can live 5 or even 7 or 8 more years than they would have without clean water. And this is very important when the person suffering from HIV has young children. If they can even live another 5, 7, 8 years, it makes it much more possible for the child to have opportunities in life.
Yeah, providing clean water is not only to the community, to the family that we were able to help, to build homes, but also to schools, to orphanages, to other places where it's possible, so that we may help them. So helping in different areas is already in our program.
So we have a lot of Americans right here in Olympia, actually, who like to go abroad and help.
Welcome.
And that's about what I was to ask. I know you need people to help build homes, and
not only homes, even,
an orphanage, and we can train people right here in Olympia to build biosand filters. And you'd be able to have a couple of volunteers if we happen to come up with some.
That will be very great. I am fortunate because I was able to have this training in the United States, to attend this training, which made me to be more committed to do something to provide clean water to our people.
Well, you've done so much already. This is just an add-on.
Using biosand water filters. So when we have a training, we'll need people, from United States or those who are already in Burundi to come to help us. So you are welcome.
And we talk about, of course, the trauma of war in Burundi, but we're going through the trauma of war here in the United States, and our military people come back from Afghanistan, and they've been coming back from Iraq with traumatic problems, not just physical injuries, but mental and I would call spiritual injuries. And being able to provide opportunities such as building biosand filters or whatever helps them reintegrate into communities. I almost wish we had a program like that for Americans, a way for soldiers and former combatants and former guerrillas to reintegrate into their communities. Because again, the Hutus and Tutsis have been living together, and Twa, Pygmies, have been living together for hundreds and hundreds of years together. Most of their history is actually peaceful. But they've just gone through a great traumatic experience, and finding ways to reintegrate communities is a very, very important thing in Burundi and right here in the United States.
You know, giving them such opportunity will be something important because it will be helping them to rebuild their lives for the future. As I saw, you know, from my own experience, for my last 18 years, you know, serving the community, there is joy. And great joy and honor in serving others. So giving an opportunity and privilege to people to go to serve, that is really important. It does only help the community that we are helping, but it helps both those who are getting, you know, from those who are helping and those who are, you know, helping others. Both we gain joy.
Well, as you know, I have learned a word in Kirundi. It's now my favorite word. Turikumwe.
Turikumwe means we are together.
We are all together. One word in the Kirundi language.
Turikumwe. If we are together, we'll be able to accomplish much and important things.
Well, that's
together.
Great. Prosper, how can folks get in touch with you? I mean, I know of course they can get in touch with you through me, but they might want to go directly. How might they do that?
This is very easy. We have a representative in the United States. She's living in Edmond, and we have our address on this brochure. And we also, our website is www.jrmd.org. With that one, you can just get our email address and our telephone from our website.
That's great. And I note your brochure is named Compassion in Action.
Yes, Compassion in Action is about, you know, helping, you know, one another. It's about caring for those in need. It's not about wars. It's about identifying yourself with those in need and do something that can help them to get out from the situation. That has been our tool and weapon, you know, to bring people Hutu and Tutsi together by showing them this solidarity during the time or when they were going in a different situation. So, about Compassion in Action is really about helping. It's about solidarity. It's about identifying yourself with those in need and help them, you know, to get out from the situation in which they are. Just like the way you could help yourself if you are in a such situation.
So his website is www.jrmd.org.
Yes, thanks.
Again, Friendly Water of the World will be training more people here starting June 30th. We invite your support of any kind. You should know that biosand filters cost only about $50. And they will last for up to 30 years with almost no maintenance. So if you really wanted to do something really good for people, you know, save the money from a couple of lattes, put it together. We'll make sure the money gets where it needs to go to assist folks around the world. We're working all around the world now, but we seem to have a special interest in Burundi these days. If only because it's a laboratory of peace.
Yes.
It's a laboratory where people have gone through great trauma. The people have to live together. There's no place to go. And in some way, it's a laboratory of peace and reconciliation that we can be part of right here in Olympia or anywhere in North America.
Thank you so much for accepting to work with us and to help us, so that we may be able to help our nation and our community.
Turikumwe.
Urakoze.
Thank you.